Oh boy.
I like Zacharias.
What did he say? I identify as Jeff Bezos. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. That's one identity you can't claim, buddy. Everything else is okay. You can be a puppy, an animal, a cockroach. What you cannot be his bank account. Oh, that's a good one.
The great thinkers in our world today, who are women with daddy issues and men with mommy issues,
Sorry. The title of this one is Society's Standards of What a Man Should Be. Just want to make sure you get the title right.
The great thinkers in our world today, who are women with daddy issues and men with mommy issues, tell us that the traditional traits of masculinity are toxic, and therefore we must redefine masculinity. As our society is objectively diseased today, I think it's probably a good idea to let a sick society tell me what healthy masculinity is. So today, I'm going to do a test run on being the kind of man that politically correct society tells me I should be. So let's give it a shot. Talk about your feelings all the time. Because the feminine way of processing feelings is to talk about them all the time, women have informed us men that apparently we're supposed to behave like women in this regard. Like, Kevin's just so rude. He makes me so angry. He didn't even invite me to the thing that some other people, but not everyone, got invited to. Who does he think he is? Yeah, that feels more appropriate and more effective than getting physical aggression out through exercise or strenuous
Oh, that is a good one. That was spot on.
Yeah, if you want to be a little.
I heard you. I heard you. You're gonna lose your religion, okay?
I'm trying to be good over here.
Oh,
But
man.
I'm sorry. I just call it as I see it.
Yeah, it's true. Talk about your feeling all the time. I think there is a time for us to talk about our feelings as men, right? I don't think we do enough talking about our feelings, but you don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah,
It creates another problem.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
it's that old saying. And my grandmother was always used to say, "You don't air your dirty laundry in public."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, you know, you keep that when, you know, if you have an issue with like your significant other or something, you sit there
Yeah.
and you discuss it with them, and
That's it.
you have a talk about it and be done with it.
Yeah. That's it. Move on. That's what men do.
Mm-hmm.
appropriate and more effective than getting physical aggression out through exercise or strenuous activity. Strength equals weak masculinity. Long gone are the days when physical strength is part of healthy masculinity. Society tells us that the only reason why men would have the desire to get stronger is so that they can punch harder in their domestic violence endeavors. Couple that with the newfound science that informs us that working out is far-right extremism, and you'll realize that having healthy masculinity means you look at opportunities to get stronger and you just say no. No! Amazing feminine queen goddess, could you carry this water jug for me? Don't be a protector. As a man, you need to detoxify yourself of the harmful idea that you need to be the protector of your family. Thinking of yourself as a protector means you have complete disrespect for a woman's strength to fight off attackers who are stronger than her. Babe, I heard a noise outside. I think someone's out there. Can you go check? Don't be a provider. If, as a man, you think of yourself as a provider, you are just strengthening the inequality of the gender pay gap, and it's disgusting. Instead, you should have the strength to embrace letting your woman provide for you. Thanks for giving birth to the kids, mothering them, and taking care of the house. But when you get a minute, could you go back to work? Our bank account's getting kind of low. If chivalry isn't dead, kill it. Chivalry.
You know,
Oh man,
it's crazy he's saying this. It's crazy he's saying this. The mindset that goes into this is very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And is having a really negative impact on our youth. Did you see the video that I
Oh
did?
yeah, I saw that.
And I think this is a prime example of the danger of not creating solid men with backbones that could stand for this country and stand for values that We ought to protect our sons and daughters and our women.
Which goes back to the old saying: hard times create strong men.
Mm-hmm.
Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
Yes, correct. Listen to this, guys. If you haven't seen this, check it out. I mean, he's gonna make your heart happy and sad at the same time.
Why is everybody saying Gen Z is gonna get drafted? Like, no, the fuck we're not. And you know why I know that? Because we're just gonna say no. Like, how are they gonna actually force us to get up and go to war? I understand it was like that in like the 1940s. What else is there to do in 1940 besides shoot people? We have things to do nowadays. We have twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, lie. And we're also like really mentally ill. I have like 6 of these. What makes you think I'm qualified to have a gun? Like within 600 feet of anybody, including myself. And finally, like guns are like so tacky. Like, can you imagine just like pulling up with a gun? Like that is so fucking embarrassing. Like, what is this? The Revolutionary fucking War? No. Like, let's just chat. Let's just talk. There's no need for all the like no. No. It's not gonna happen. Don't worry. Why is it?
Okay, so here's the thing. This kid doesn't seem to understand. If we ever get invaded, he's going to be one of the first ones eliminated.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't understand how to stand up for himself.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
he has no idea.
And looking at the comments on the side, it's like, you just don't understand, dude. You just do not get it.
Yeah. Well, did you see? Okay, the second part of this video, and I think it's interesting. This other person takes it to the next level, and it goes back to what JP is saying. We're creating these the alpha male concept is being frowned upon today. But the type of men we're creating is the type of men that will let our country to be taken over, that will not protect our border, that will not protect our sons and daughters. They will leave us to the rules. As a matter of fact, I think that's not a good thing. And I think it should be a wake-up call for many of us. Like, hey, too much of that diversity, equity, and inclusion kind of thing. This is where it leads to. It leads to a place of unsafe and very dangerous mentality as well.
He's just going to be somebody's prison girlfriend.
I didn't want to say it.
I'll say it. I don't care. He's going to be somebody's prison girlfriend.
You're right.
They force us to get up and go to work.
Oh, you'll just go to jail.
Okay. So 5 years of rent-free living, free food, and no responsibilities versus being immediately obliterated by an AK-47 the moment I set foot on that battlefield. And that's if they can catch me, because you think this draft occurs, I'm headed for the hills, baby. I know a place. It has everything I could possibly need except for electricity and cell service, which is going to be perfect because you won't be able to find me. Do I look like somebody who the authorities are going to be chasing after, hunting down because they need me? They need me to grab an assault weapon and go try to like save people's lives. Are you kidding me? Talk about a liability. Go find those people who are so like pro Second Amendment and wear like freaking American flag thongs and all that shit. Like, go find them. They have a concealed carry anyway. They know what they're doing. They've done the classes. Go find them. You don't want me fighting for this country. I promise you that. And you know it's true.
Like, how are they going to actually?
I agree in part.
Yes, in part I do agree, but the part he doesn't realize is he's going to get obliterated in jail anyway. So
yeah, it doesn't matter what he does. Yeah, prison is not safe either.
You get deleted on the battlefield. You get deleted in prison.
Yeah,
either way, it's gonna end. You get the same result.
He said me. I said, come on, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That gay stuff has gone crazy. It's gone crazy.
This is so far. We've so far lost an entire generation of men.
We've lost a whole entire generation in that stuff. He said, the first one said, we gotta do some twerking, eat hot chips. I'm like, you serious? Like, this is what's important to you? And oh, Lord have mercy. We are insane.
I got some place for you to put them hot chips.
Darth Vader, you're crazy.
Chivalry is just unchecked misogyny. Opening doors and things like that for women comes from your complete disrespect and hatred for women. And it means that you assume that they're too weak to do those things for themselves. Oh, but I meant it as a gesture that symbolizes care and kindness towards my lady. Yeah, right, you toxic bastard. You think your lady is too mentally unstable to provide care and kindness for herself? I left the toilet seat up for you because I don't want you to think that I think you're too weak and incapable of putting it down for yourself. You're welcome. Keep your perspectives to yourself. Asserting yourself and representing your point of view is basically domestic violence, so don't do it. Instead, be a passive, flaccid, obedient little bitch of a man who always lets your lady put you in your place. You know, I can see how the way I see it is definitely wrong. I think it is always my fault. My day of testing out what our six society standards of what a man should be has been a great success. I've learned that the more I act like a woman, the more of a healthy man I am. And all it costs me is my self-respect, suppression of my natural state as a human, and my family's well-being. And if you're a man, I encourage you too to adopt society's new standard of what a man should be. Because by suppressing your natural masculinity, you'll be helping make the world feel like a much safer space for women, which I guess implies women aren't capable of feeling safe on their own and they need us to do it for them. But we're not going to think about that right now.
Oh, JP.
So what I'm the way I understand it is what he's getting at is women don't feel safe, so they want to turn the men into women's or women feminine so that they feel more safe around the effeminate dudes and not strong men who can protect them. Which that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
It doesn't. But the feminist movement has been crying out for this type of man, right? Because we trying to escape Me Too. We don't want the abusers, which I agree with, the domestic violence. I get that. But I think the extreme solution here, this is the result to the extreme side of the whole thing of addressing men. We end up creating men who are not even women nor men. We create something in between that's confused and weak, even weaker than most women. So I'm just saying there's a lot of people to blame here. There's parents, the system, there's pharmaceutical companies, there's a whole lot. There's the feminist movement, there's, they're all called toxic.
You got the feminist movement, you got the indoctrination in schools from CRT. It's just there, and then you get your TikToxic, other social medias. It's just they're constantly bombarded with this stuff, and from all angles, from all sides, and it really is coming down to being a mental disorder at some point. And it's creating an entire generation of weak men.
Yeah. And I think when we think about strong men, doesn't necessarily mean proud men, a man with strong ego. I think a man can be humble and manageable. A man can be gentle. Doesn't make him soft. Doesn't make him weak. You have to know how to balance this, because we have this macho. That's what it simply means to be a man.
You can be strong without being braggadocious.
Yeah, you can. Like, for me, my perspective is, if you go in the wilderness, you take a look at a lion. What do you see a lion is doing? Like, most of the time,
chilling.
He's chilling, but he's still the king, though. You get it? So I think if we look at that, we can appreciate that. I think women do want strong men around them. They don't want dominant kind of, control freak, but they do want men to take charge and take control and be in a position of leadership and protection to protect their family and care and provide. Women do want that. Children need that. Okay. Children need that. Without that, this is why we have a broken society, especially among Black community, is the fatherlessness issue is the result we are reaping right now in many Black communities. It's just a lot of sons are waking up or being raised without father. And the result is They go look for fathers in all the wrong places. They go in a gang. They go and trying to, looking for affirmation somewhere else and looking for significance. And as a result, they end up in the wrong places. And now, they're shooting and killing and committing all kind of crimes.
Yeah.
Because they never had a role model as a male in their lives. It's a major problem.
And not only that, but it's like men just aren't showing the future generations what it means to be a man. Like, you can be a man and be strong and humble at the same time.
Yes.
Real men don't go around bragging about how strong they are and puffing out their chest and constantly trying to get into fights.
Yeah, that's true. Gary, we just want to thank you. Just want to say hello as well.
Thank you, Gary.
Zachariah just made a good point. Let me pull him up. Okay. Men are the light of the world. Wow. God in Christ, Christ in men, and men over women, and women over children. God's order of nature, and that means.
Yeah.
Some people might have an issue with that word "over," baby.
Hey,
yeah, I don't think it's not even about a position. To be honest with you, it's more about function. The function are different. It's not so much position. It's like I'm higher than you, better than you, stronger than you. It's not really the goal. Even the idea that God, I've listened to a minister put it this way: the fact that God took the rib from the side of Adam meant that Adam was never to be above his wife.
She was meant to be side by side.
She was meant to be side by side. That's right. And that's the idea. That's why she was called a help meet. Not help me with the bills only, but help meet. So we're supposed to help carrying life's burdens together. And it's true. I'm a better man next to my wife, and she's a better woman next to me. If I'm not home for a couple of days, the home gets messed up. If she's not home for a couple hours,
it really gets messed up.
And I'm like, y'all go away, wait till she gets home. So I try to do my very best, but I cannot do her function as well as she does. She cannot do my job. If I go away for a couple of days, I come home and the yard is a mess. And I'm like, yep, I know I wasn't home.
Yep.
But at the same time, if she's not home, she comes in and the rest of the house is a mess. We got dishes piled up and laundry on not washed. And I'm like, well, you weren't home. So there's different functions that we carry out in the home. It's not just these things, but in the way that we care for our children. Like the way my wife is able to teach my son and get him to carefully listen is amazing. But at the same time, the way I'm able to communicate with him and get him to challenge his emotion and get him to actually do things in the yard
in a productive manner,
very productive way. It's very amazing to see how that goes. So yeah, we all have different function, and I think we need to embrace our differences and not get wrapped up.
And we each have our role to play too.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. And I think that's what's been lost with this whole feminism movement.
Yeah,
is they're trying to blur the lines between the roles. Is women are supposed to be able to do everything a man can do, and now women are supposed to be taking over what men can do, and this and that and the other thing, and they're all just as good as we are, and everything, and this and that and the other thing. It's like,
you're not ready for this.
That is definitely not the point.
No.
Yeah. It says in Ephesians, women, submit yourselves to your husbands. But that's not the only thing that God says. It's also, husbands, love your wives as God so loved the church.
Let me pull that up. Okay.
I believe it's in Ephesians 5.
Yeah, you're right. There you go.
Yeah, if women's wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as Christ is subject unto the church, so let the wives be their own husbands in everything.
Sheesh.
This is God saying, okay, wives, yes, the husband has a specific role to play. He is the head of the household, you know, just as Christ is the head of the church. You know, you need to listen to him, submit yourself to him, and, you know, just basically let him do his thing and let him make the decisions that need to be made as the head of the family.
Yeah.
Because God, if he is a good Christian man, he is going to seek the Lord in all things and seek the Lord's wisdom and know what to do.
That's right. But also,
However,
I was going to
with
say,
that
you
being
keep
said,
reading.
he also says to
Yeah.
the husbands,
Mm-hmm.
husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he may sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word,
Yeah.
that he might
That's
present it to himself a glorious church, not
Mm-hmm.
having spot or wrinkle or any such thing,
Mm.
but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Yeah.
Now, here's a note to the men saying that whatever you do, you love your wives with all your heart and everything that is about you, mind, body, and soul, so that whatever you do within your actions and your decisions, you make your home and your wife perfect and clean through your actions
That's right.
and without blemish.
Yes. Love it. And I think Creole Queen just added to it too. God created women and men, and we are meant to be a unit. That's right. You know the word in the beginning when God says, you know, Adam supposed to be joined to his wife, they twain shall be one flesh, and the word one actually is the word for unity.
Mm-hmm.
Is the same word that is used in the context of the Trinity. When you hear that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, these three are one, is
Mm-hmm.
not saying one from the sense that
They're
number one, but it's
united.
one in the fact they are perfectly united in purpose and goal and mission.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the husband and the wife were meant to be as well. We ought to be perfectly united in everything that we do. Yeah, the Bible says it is better for a man to be married and take up a wife than to be alone and filled with lust. It's true. If you can control the passion, I mean, have at it. You know, be like the Daniel in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Just be a eunuch, man. Work it out. But I tell you what, we were created in such a way that we do need. I don't like to get wrapped up into this discussion, but it is real. God created you in a way that you needed the satisfaction of a woman, and so does the woman as well.
And
You
this
don't have
in
to go
this
deep into that.
passage,
I'm just saying it's a real thing.
and this passage in Ephesians lays out exactly what you need
Mhm.
for a happy marriage and a happy relationship
That's
with
right.
someone,
Mhm.
and a good relationship in the eyes of Christ.
That's right. Powerful. Powerful. Thank you for that. This was great. Great text as well.